The Council on American Islamic Relations and the American Arab Anti-Discrimination Committee have now filed a lawsuit against the state and the Defense Department to push action on evacuations from Yemen. Joining us now to tell us more about this case is Jennifer Wicks, Litigation Director for Civil Rights at the Council on American Islamic Relations, and Hisham Hussein, whose family is currently trapped there in Yemen. I want to thank you both for being with us. And Jennifer, let's just start with you. Talk to us about, as we said, there are perhaps 55,000 Americans in Yemen at the moment. What are the daily dangers that they're facing at this point?
We have been hearing since we put up the site stuckinyemen.com last week, we've been hearing on almost a daily basis of just increasing humanitarian needs in Yemen. People that have registered on our site and plaintiffs in the lawsuit that we filed last week. Children and adults are being injured. There's the one reported death of American citizen. But we've had people that are trying to follow the suggestions, I would say, from the State Department and getting injured and exposed to a lot of trauma every day in Yemen right now. The State Department has put out information about possible ways to get out of Yemen, although as the reason we filed the lawsuit is because there is no effort to actually evacuate U.S. citizens. But every time there's another possible avenue out of Yemen, we hear from multiple people who have registered on our site that are being injured and being turned away from boats and turned away from other ways to get out of Yemen.
And Hisham, as we said, your family is currently in the country. What are you hearing from them?
Well, I make sure that I contact them every day. We send out text message and we call them every day to make sure that they're safe. I have my parents and my uncle and his family, as well as my in-laws in Yemen right now, and we've been trying to see if we can get them out safely.
And what are they telling you when you speak with them? Are they scared? Is the situation deteriorating for them?
Definitely. I mean, the nightly bombs are happening every day. There is a lot of water shortage. Electricity cuts off. It only comes on for a couple of hours a day. The prices are going up. They need to have diesel to fuel their generators. So they're just going through some tough time right now at the moment.
And would they like to get out? Are they feeling abandoned here by the United States government and its lack of support?
Yes, definitely. They're trying to get out, but as long as it's safe and they can travel within Yemen, because they live in a central city in Yemen, in Taiz, and getting to the capital, which is a 5-hour drive, and it's not safe to drive there to get to the airport and ride one of the Indian planes that are evacuating national citizens in Yemen. So it's been really tough, and there is no way out safely for them at the moment.
Jennifer, some people have actually tried to flee the country on their own and have run into many obstacles and challenges. What are some of the stories that you've heard?
Well, I've talked to the young man that made it back here, and I mean he traveled on a fishing boat in the Red Sea, and just by hook and by crook and by his own resources made it back to the United States last weekend. I'm not aware of any other U.S. citizens that have made it back to the United States yet.
And what is the government's responsibility here? In the lawsuit, you cite Executive Order 12656. What is it?
Well, I think the main source for our lawsuit is the fact that the State Department takes the position and has always taken the position that it's their policy to protect U.S. citizens abroad. That's exactly why in every other conflict that I'm aware of, they have evacuated U.S. citizens. At the point that the U.S. Embassy is closing down in a country where there's conflict like this, they have also made every effort to evacuate U.S. citizens. I know that my partner in the coalition, the American Arab Anti-Discrimination Committee, filed a lawsuit in Michigan in 2006 because the government, while they had evacuated 3,000 U.S. citizens out of Lebanon, there were thousands and thousands of more that they hadn't. That lawsuit result was dismissed by the ADC because there was actually a ceasefire and they were able to evacuate. My understanding is the vast majority of U.S. citizens out of Lebanon back in 2006. There has been absolutely no effort since the U.S. Embassy got out in February to do anything to evacuate U.S. citizens. And as Hisham just described, it's getting worse and worse by the day in Yemen. And this is really getting to a point where our government, it's surprising that they take the position that they are unable to do anything because of the serious risks there when, by my count, at least 10 other countries have been evacuating their own citizens, and several countries are evacuating U.S. citizens as well.
Well, the State Department has responded here, too, and they've said that they've been warning people to not travel to Yemen. We also can't discount the fact that the United States is providing intelligence and logistical support to Saudi Arabia as they launch airstrikes in the country. So it almost sounds like the U.S. government is kind of placing blame on the people who are there.
I think that's exactly what was brought up at the State Department briefings last week. And while there's been no legal response to our lawsuit at this point, I certainly think that my understanding is in informal discussions with the State Department, members of our coalition were simply told basically to let the people that we're concerned about, to let them know good luck which I just think is reprehensible and not the position that I would expect the United States to be taking. The lawsuit is basically just trying to force agencies to act within the policies that they have. It's a lot of money that we're talking about. It's two executive agencies. The defense is in the area. It's not that they couldn't assist. They just haven't been told to.
So Hisham, as Jennifer pointed out, it doesn't seem like there's any precedent for this, or at least the precedent is that the United States does help its citizens out in other countries. So what message do you feel like this is sending to Yemeni Americans?
Well, the question that I wanna raise here is that what if this was a non-Arab, non-Muslim country? Would this have happened? And I also want to recall that in 1994, when Yemen had a civil war between the South and the North, the U.S. government did evacuate Yemeni Americans that were stranded in Yemen at the time. That was 1994. I remember that very well, and I have a lot of relatives who took advantage of that and were evacuated at the time. So now maybe at this time, after the 9/11 incident that has happened, maybe the Islamophobia is playing a role into this. However, they did it in the past. I don't know why they're not doing it now. I just got an email today from the State Department because I have my parents signed up in the State Department website to tell us about any evacuations. And the last message they sent today was saying that there is a Indian vessel in the Hodeidah port, and that's it. They said it's going to leave either tonight or tomorrow without giving any contact information or telling you what time it will leave. So basically to tell any family or American families in different cities to drive to that port and not know if they have a place or how long to wait. It's not only they're traveling with Yemen is not safe either. So the question that I raise, what if this was another country? Would this have happened?
Well, we're going to have to leave it there. But Hisham, we certainly wish your family the best, and we will be continuing to follow this. So Hisham and Jennifer, thank you both for being with us today.